And you can, of course, in this webinar, we actually gave you some really interesting sales. Is you can choose two packages, 1+1, and get it for $299 per month without commitment. You can cancel it anytime, but you can choose any two packages that you like. You can combine the top 10 with the energy. You can combine the technology with the buzz. You can combine the AI with the ETF, and you can actually change packages every month. So this is a special webinar sale for 24 hours. You can get two packages for $299 per month without any commitment, and you can cancel it anytime. And you can get this special sale by clicking on the chat, and it will provide you a link to this specific webinar sale. And you can also find this in our website, iknowfirst.com, and see the special 24 hours webinar sale.
Then maybe you can paste this link in the meantime, because I see some people are asking how to get this 1+1 deal.
Sure.
So basically, you can choose from the different packages that we introduced today, the energy package, the semiconductors one. It could be the XAR one, the aerospace and defense. It could be the top 10. It could be the top 10 S&P stock. It could be under $10 stocks or small cap stocks. You basically can choose from all the packages almost all the packages that are available in our website. And you can mix and match and choose two packages that you would like to have for the upcoming month. There is no commitment, of course. By the way, I see some people that are raising their hands. Please use the Q&A. We will try to address all the questions right at the end of this webinar.
Yeah, so you have the link in the chat. Feel free to choose the package that fits you. The next package is one of the most interesting package that we ever launched in IKnowFirst, and you're gonna see the results of this package, and I think it's kind of a remarkable result. The AI-powered portfolio package. This unique package is actually a 10 stocks that the algorithm picks for you for a automatic portfolio, and it's focusing on the best 10 stocks out of all of our packages. It's scanning all the packages that we just saw, and it gives you the best 10 stocks to hold, or ETF to hold, for the period of 4 weeks, which means you just have to buy those 10 assets and hold them for a period of 4 weeks. And you buy them in the closing day of the rebalancing day that's happening in 2-3 more days, in the 25th of June. So the algorithm does all the job for you. You don't have to choose any time frames. You don't have to choose any predictability or signal. The algorithm picks the best stocks, of course, based on predictability and based on the signal, and chooses that the best assets to hold for the next 4 weeks from all our packages, from all the US stocks that we're covering. And I want to show you, we started this package on the beginning of April, and right now the return of the portfolio after 3 months is almost 14%, while the S&P is around 5.2%. This is 8.7 alpha on the S&P, and I want to go through month by month and show you the stocks and the ETF that the algorithm actually picked for you in each and every month. And if you're looking for example, of the 2nd of April, which was the first rebalancing of this unique package, we can see that the algorithm chose those 10 stocks, 10 assets in the bottom of the table that you can see. And you can see there a Palantir that actually moved 35%. You can find the Take-Two Interactive that moved 10%, Uber, IDXX, Microsoft, ETF that follows the Indian market, TDG, which is from the aerospace and defense, and many others. And the return of this portfolio was 3.44 from the 2nd of April until the 30th of April, a 4 weeks period. And the S&P performance was minus 1.8. So the algorithm can actually identify stocks and assets that moved up while the benchmark, the S&P, was negative. And I think that's really remarkable. Let's go to the next rebalance that happened on the 30th of April.
Yeah,
The
actually, before going to the next rebalance, what's so unique about this is that actually the market was really struggled around April. If you remember, around the 7th of April, the market dropped tremendously in 2 days. It was after Trump's announced the new tariffs, if you remember, Ben.
Mhm.
And it's really interesting how, the AI algorithm was managing, to navigate this quite unique volatility and basically to identify opportunities that managed to provide positive, not only positive return, but to outperform the market by 5%. It's amazing.
Yeah, and 8 out of those 10 assets actually outperform the S&P 500 performance. So April was amazing, and also May we can see that the next rebalance was on April 30, and again those dates are already made. I mean, those dates are happening every 4 weeks on Wednesday. It's not changeable. I mean, it's the next rebalance happening on this Wednesday. In 3 days from now, you can join this amazing feature and amazing package on Wednesday. So we can see that in the 40th, in the April 30th up until May 28th, the algorithm actually did 6.2%, while the S&P made 5.7. And the asset that it chose was Netflix. We can see APH from the semiconductor universe. We can see aerospace and defense that we just talked about, XAR, and it made 12%. So from the beginning of May, the algorithm told us to focus on the aerospace and defense sector, and this helped us to outperform the market. And let's see what actually happened in this month.
Ta-dam, ta-dam, ta-dam. Are you guys ready?
From the 28th of May up until now, we made 3.7%, while the S&P was 1.35, again, outperforming the S&P by 2.6%. And we can see some interesting stocks that the algorithm chose. AMSC that moved 9%, IESC that moved 7%, almost 8%, TSM, VRT, which actually helps cooling computers farms and works with NVIDIA, also make 8%, and many other stocks. The sector that the algorithm chose to be in is the semiconductors. We can see stocks that made 8% in this month. We can find XAR again. And if we are adding all those 3 months and see what was the performance of the portfolio, Yaron, if you can slide down, you can find that the algorithm made almost 14% while the S&P made 5.2%. And this is remarkable. I mean, beating the S&P is not an easy mission. I mean, it's not an easy task. You can ask a lot of hedge funds and a lot of portfolio managers beating the S&P 3 months in a row in this market. This is remarkable. And this is why you should trust and give the AI to build you a portfolio that can outperform the market for you. And this remarkable package that we are offering you for this specific webinar for the next 24 hours, again, is a special webinar sale that you can get this package in 2 ways. One of them is a 12-month subscription, and you'll get the AI power portfolio package. And you can choose one of the packages for $299 per month. You get the AI powered portfolio, you get 10 assets to buy and hold for the period of 1 month. And additional to that, you're getting another package that you can choose from our variety of packages. You can choose the Buzz package, the ETF package, the top 10, and trade throughout the month. So this really exceptional sale is available for the next 24 hours. You're getting 2 packages for $299 per month, paid every 12 months. You get the AI power portfolio and another package to your choice. And this special sale is also available in the chat. You can join this sale in the link that I just posted on the Zoom chat. And the third, you have anything to say about this deal?
Yeah, actually, I do. Just a moment, I will help you with the deals. Okay. One interesting thing about this AI portfolio before we are analyzing the performance is to see that first, already on April, the algorithm was basically pointing and including the XAR subsector that we actually introduced before. So it's really interesting to see that it was part of this portfolio, as well as exposure to the European, actually specific to Germany. So this is another interesting thing. On April, the algorithm included Plantier that was also bringing some tremendous return to this portfolio. And actually, on the last rebalancing, we see the interesting exposure to the semiconductors. We see the semiconductor stocks ETF, but also we see specific stocks that are part of the semiconductors. We see TSM, we see AMSC, that is also semiconductor stocks. We see the QQQ, and also, again, we see the XAR that we have just mentioned. So I think it's interesting to analyze the picks, and I think you have something to say also about VRT, Ben, right?
Yeah, I mentioned VRT. That is actually a cooling company for services to farm computers. It actually has some contracts with NVIDIA. It's a really interesting company that we are following for the last few, I think, 5 or 6 weeks, and it's still looking quite interesting. VRT, you should follow this company. And the last webinar sale that you have, if you want to experience just the AI powered portfolio, you can do that as well in a 3-month subscription for $330 per month. You can get the AI powered portfolio, get the 10 best assets. You buy them in the closing price of the same day of the rebalancing day. hold them for a 4 weeks period, and then after it, you'll get the next 10 best asset. And you saw the results. Um, we're actually publishing those results every month in the webinar. So you're seeing that the performance is remarkable. Beating the S&P, it's not an easy thing. After almost more than 20 years in the stock market, I can tell you beating the S&P 3 months in a row, it's really, really not easy. And doing a performance of 14% in less than 3 months, I think it's a winning product, and you'll get this special sale in the next 24 hours. You can purchase this package for $330 per month, paid every 3 months, and joined our remarkable AI-powered portfolio, and be on the side of the AI that will choose your portfolio on a monthly basis.
Okay, I see questions regarding the second one. So here you're getting not only the AI portfolio, AI power portfolio, you can also choose between all the different options that Ben introduced before, whether it's semiconductor stocks, top 10, top S&P stocks, small caps, you name it, every package that you would like. So on one hand, you have a monthly solution that providing you guidance on a monthly basis, and on the other end, you are getting daily forecast with the best opportunities on a daily basis, basically.
Yeah, and before you gonna ask us what we're recommend you to buy, uh, we'll tell you that Yaron, what is your choice for this month?
Okay, so I have actually my favorite packages for the upcoming month are, on one hand, the AI Power Portfolio, and then I have two options. One option is, I would say, more conservative, and the second is more risky one. The semiconductors actually is, in my opinion, have lower risk. So this is the first choice to choose the semiconductors package. I would say there is a risk. There is always risk, but the risk is a bit lower. So it could be a good combination to have the AI power portfolio on one end and the semiconductor stock picks on the other end. If you would like to add an exposure to the energy sector, which is not part of the S&P, as you mentioned, Ben, the energy package could be a good choice. I have to say, sometimes the predictability is lower in the energy stock picks, so make sure that you're focusing on the most predictable stocks from this universe. Make sure that you're picking stocks that appearing also in the long term and that have significant predictability. And I think those are the main reasons why I do prefer to have those two packages, basically. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, my choice is, of course, the AI-powered portfolio. I think you understand that from my excitement about this package. And the second package, I still think that the bus package is really potential for those days. It has a lot of diversity of stocks in this package. And I think this package, or maybe even the aerospace and defense package, can be really, really interesting for those days. And we're going to see in the end of the webinar what's the algorithm thinks about what's going to be the best sectors for the next month. And that can also help you pick the best package for the next month. So that's coming in 10 more minutes. We're going to show you what the algorithm thinks about the markets. So stay tuned, and you're on to you.
Yeah. So another advantage of the predictive algorithm is, in fact, that it's a long, short predictive algorithm. As we see, sometimes we have opportunities for the long predictions, and sometimes the strongest signals are coming from the bottom of the heat map. And here we can see two interesting examples. The first example is from March 2023, while we have seen negative prediction for the S&P 500. Again, the top 10, top 20 packages include daily S&P 500 forecast. And we can see that the strongest signals actually came from the bottom of this heat map. And among those assets, we can find several stocks that belong to the banking sectors in the US, including Silicon Valley Bank and also First Republic Bank that basically collapsed over this time frame. Another interesting example is from February 2020, when we started to see the COVID effect over the market. Again, we had S&P 500, negative S&P 500 forecast, and the strongest signals came from the bottom of this heat map. And it happened also this year, right, Ben? Ben, you're muted.
All right.
I
Yeah, we
waited for a
saw
few seconds to make sure.
yeah, we saw the same drop on February 20th of February in the beginning of 2025, and we can see that the indicators showed us that the algorithm gave us the best market intelligence by telling us that the S&P is actually negative. We can saw the volatility indices such as the VIX and VXN in the top of each and every forecast, and that gave us a heads up that some volatility is coming up next. And we did see what happened after that in the next following weeks. Another example for that was in April. Again, we saw that the majority of the indices, as we can see here in the forecast to the left, was painted red. And that means that we have to watch out from the market, watch from some volatility. And we did saw the market drop almost 40% in a really short time. So as mentioned earlier, the algorithm also providing us a market intelligence tool and telling us if the market goes down or up, where should we be, and more than that, what should we avoid, and this is what we provide also to our hedge fund clients on a weekly basis. And other things that we are doing, as Yaron mentioned in the beginning, is actually strategic trading strategies, automatic trading strategies based on the artificial intelligence. And we're going to show you a quick review of one of those popular strategy that we developed. And as I mentioned in this webinar, we have the Geeks Level 1. Geeks Level 1, it's the 11 main sectors of the S&P 500. For example, XLK, XLE, XLY, they all belongs to the Geeks Level 1, the main 11 sectors that compound the S&P 500 universe. And we have the Geeks Level 2, which is the semi-sectors or semi-sectors or industries that also belong to the S&P 500. But in this specific strategy, we focus on the Geeks Level 1 universe, and I want to show you this strategy in the last 5 years. This specific strategy is taking and choosing, the algorithm choose 3 sectors on a monthly basis and hold them for 1 month. It's a long only strategy, and we can see the performance for the last 5 years from 2020 up until 2025. This strategy made 141%, while the S&P did 83%. And again, it's just by choosing 3 best sectors out of the 11 sectors. So the algorithm can focus on the best sector in each and every month and outperform the market, which is quite remarkable. We have some investment house and hedge funds that are using this specific strategy. We can see the performance each and every year from the beginning of 2020, and we can see that the algorithm actually outperformed outperformed the market. You can slide down. You can see that the algorithm is actually outperformed the market in each and every year from 2020 up until the 2025 and 4 in this case. And more interesting is to show you from the beginning of 2020 which sectors the algorithm actually chose. So we are seeing here 11 sectors, the 11 sectors, and the one that are colored with yellow is the one that the algorithm focused on. And we can see throughout the years which sectors the algorithm chose and what was the portfolio return compared to the S&P 500. And we can see the last rebalance from April 30, for example. The algorithm held those three sectors. You can see XLC. I don't know if you can slide down, you can find XLC, XLY, and XLK. And we can see the weights that is giving to each and every sector. And this performance actually outperformed the S&P that made 4.2 that specific month. So that's just an example of one of our many strategies that we developed using our algorithm to generate as an engine for our strategies. And if any of you are institutional or an investment house that want us to tailor-made the strategy for him, please feel free to approach us and contact us. You can do it by the mail, in my mail. Yaron, if you can slide down, you can find my mail here or throughout our contact in our website.
By the way, one of the most exciting strategies that Ben mentioned before is actually taking advantage also of the short opportunities, short selling opportunities. We call it combined strategy. It's identifying opportunities for long, but sometimes in some cases, as we can see here, for instance, while the market was going down, it's building a short portfolio and actually can outperform the market at any given market, basically.
All right, so we told you about our many packages, but that's not all the packages that we have. We have a variety of packages in the website that you can find, such as the Robinhood package that chooses the most popular stocks from the Robinhood platform, that we saw that actually was really successful in the last few weeks. Of course, we have the technology package. We have a crypto package that focuses on the best cryptocurrencies. As you can see here, more than 150 cryptocurrencies, as well as world indices packages. The package that actually focus on the best indices around the globe, more than 175 indices that the algorithm predicts on a daily basis. Commodities package, and of course that contained, of course, the coffee, the oil, which is now really interesting, the silver and the gold, and currencies forecast also available in our website. We talked about the energy package, utility package, and of course, yeah, the energy package that we talked about, the pharma package, and the utility package, and many other packages that you can find in our website, even if it's regional packages such as the Chinese stock exchange. You can find a package for Chinese stocks, or also Indian stocks as well. You can go through our website and see the variety of the packages that we are actually have. And the Indian package is actually interesting because we have a really big collaboration with some of the leading brokerage firm in India, Finvazia, which we are actually providing a forecast for the Indian market for the small caps, large cap, and mid cap stocks. And more than 1,200 stocks are getting a forecast on a daily basis from the Indian market. You can see the platform that is also for desktop and for mobile. All right. In the last webinar, we gave you the best sectors to be in from the 25th of May of a period of 1 month. And the leading sectors were XSD. XSD, which you doesn't know, XSD is the semiconductors equal weight sector. And that made almost 9.5% in the last month. The algorithm also focused on the semiconductor, the SOX, and that made 11%. We can find there XLK that made 6%, and the XAR that makes 6.75%, and of course the Buzz that made 7.8% in just 1 month. That was the last webinar suggestions and the map that we saw that the algorithm gave us. And that's why we actually advise you to focus on the semiconductors and the Buzz universe. And for July,